Hey guys, Evan Ork here, back with another video, and today we're going to be doing a review on the Godzilla vs. Hedorah Mezco set. Now, we are finally past the Hasbro figure reviews, and are now going to be doing a review on the Kaiju figures I got this year for Christmas. One of these things was the Godzilla vs. Hedorah Mezco set, and I will not be reviewing the Godzilla figure because it's like practically identical to the Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Mezco set, which I reviewed many months ago. So in this review, you're just going to be hearing me review this guy and his flying version. Ultimately though, to get some things out of the way, I want to make clear that it did come with some very nice building accessories. You have this one. Of course, they have this pollution portion of the building. But yeah, there are a few of these. Anyway, to get into the plain favorite pro of this guy, it would have to be the paint job. Now, the paint job on this figure is way better on this, obviously, than this, but I'm going to be grading these things very similarly, practically the exact same way I'm reviewing this is how I'm going to be evaluating this. But look, it has a little bit of everything. Of course, it has that main sluggish color, but it also has booming colors. It has booming colors on the eyes with this nice red color and the yellow pupils. Same thing for the flying version as well. And of course, these other colors are scattered around the figure with this yellowish red here and also underneath his arms. Let's also credit the fact that this yellow is very nicely blended in well. There's no deep contrast besides this bright yellow and this sluggish gray. So again, great blending, great camouflaging within the colors. Looks very, very natural. So overall, paint job on him as well as him. Maybe not as good as him, but you know, whatever. So let's get into the next thing I like about this figure. So the next thing I like about this figure is the detail. The detail on both of these figures is very, very nice, and we can definitely see it more with this, like this, similarly to the last Pro. But look, we can see the details of his sluggish characteristics. Of course, there's no extra unique feeling to when you touch this part of the figure versus the more smoother parts here. But you still get that vibe, though, that the detail is very, very nice. It's really just layers of slug, which they did very, very well. Facial detail is accurate, very, very good as well, with this kind of bumpy eyelids that goes all around, more so on the left side of his eyes. But again, very nice detail also with the cracks here. Good detail underneath the flying version of Hedorah with these linear formations, which kind of go all around the figure. Maybe not as much detail on the top of him, but that's okay because the detail on this makes up for it. So let's get into the cons of this figure. So when it comes to the cons of this figure, there is really two major cons, but no nitpicks. And that has to do with the articulation. As you guys will often notice, the articulation, usually if it's not mentioned, like all other pros in the beginning, that means it's a con, and that's exactly what it is with this figure. So the reason why the articulation is a con is, to put it simply, there is not sufficient articulation enough to earn enough points. Like, example, for this figure, we do technically have 4 joints of articulation, but the stiffness, which is a whole other issue in itself, causes it to lack that cool articulation. The head is really the only joint where it's not stiff and where it's a fair joint of articulation moving. Also, there is still some stiffness on the legs. Could have had really good joints here, but they were prevented because, again, really, really stiff. I don't know if they could even move, to be quite honest, but they seem that way because they appear to have a joint, but not moving. With this figure, there's absolutely no articulation, and I understand that because it's the flying version of Hedorah, but they still could have done some cool things. Maybe they could have had maybe a joint here and then made the end of this flying version wiggle a little bit. Again, there are just more opportunities that I think the articulation could have been better on this, and even with this, even if there were 4 joints, they were still fairly stiff. Again, completely different issue, but they are connected. Ultimately, I would rate this Mezco set an 8.2 out of 10. Really, really good Mezco set. All in all, I've never really reviewed a Mezco set with multiple figures in one review, but I figure I'd knock out 2 birds with 1 stone because these are the same kaijus, but, you know, different in terms of what they appear to be, because this is his flying version, this is his natural version. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. Would definitely recommend getting this figure either way. It is a little bit expensive, but if you're into collecting Godzilla figures and also want to check out the new stuff Mezco has had to offer recently with kaijus, would recommend getting this. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys later, and bye-bye.